All right, back live tonight here on In Focus, a public spat, or what you'd call social media war that is playing out between ANC Youth League President Collen Malatji and the party's national chairperson, Gwede Mantashe. It comes after he told the Young Lions to focus on winning SRC elections at tertiary institutions instead of demanding 50% youth representation in Parliament. ANC Youth League spokesperson Zama Khanyase joins us now for more on that. Zama, good to have you, and thank you very much for your time. It was at the 2019 manifesto review in the Eastern Cape over the weekend where the chairperson, national chairperson of the African National Congress, said the ANC Youth League is going to lose campuses to the EFF because your focus kwizinto ezinganifuniyo nina. You must accept that elders are here. We are in control. We are not here holding positions for you. What did you understand that statement to be?
Greetings. Thank you for having us as the ANC Youth League. We are yet to try and unpack what is it that the national chairperson meant, and we have requested, or we are in the process of organizing a meeting with him over the weekend so that we get to understand the background of what he was saying. But if I can just take from what you have just reminded us of in terms of his remarks, as the ANC Youth League, we have a twin task, and one of them is to champion all interests of young people. As he's talking about the SRC elections that we're losing, as the ANC Youth League, we are of the view that part of the reasons why the ANC Youth League, and particularly SASCO, because ANC Youth League actually supports SASCO in SRC elections. We don't contest them as the ANC Youth League. But anyway, we accept a win, all wins and losses of SASCO because we are part of the Progressive Youth Alliance. But part of the reasons why we have these challenges is because of some of the resolutions of the ANC that need to be implemented. And if we are to win over the support of young people, we need to be there in the echelons of power. We need to be part of policy making. We need to be part of implementing resolutions of the ANC so that we regain the trust of young people on the ground. Our country is getting younger and younger every day, and that tells you that even the leadership as well needs to be young. Even people who are holding key positions in government and otherwise need to be young people. And on the ground anyway, it has been said, young people have voiced out that they want young people to be part of the process.
So you are saying the reason why you as a progressive youth collective are failing to win key elections is because you are not in charge of the policies of the country.
We are not in charge of implementing them and shaping government because the ANC, remember, already has progressive policies. Ours now is just to implement them in government. But we are saying yes, if you look at the issue of NEFSAS, those are part of the issues that have been raised by students that they are unhappy about how the process is running. As the ANC League ourselves, we've begun the process of engaging the Minister of Higher Education. We had a meeting with him recently, and we are hoping that in our follow-up we'll have progress, because there is progress. And that tells you that indeed the voice of young people is needed at that level.
So in that statement, you are saying that then the elders are the ones who are failing in that implementation of these progressive policies?
We're not saying they are failing. We're saying the pace at which they are moving is not one that a young person who's suffering somewhere will understand. Of course, there can be many things that can be explained as to why there's at times a slow process in terms of implementing of some policies. But we believe that if we have young people in these key positions, then they can attempt to at least move with speed. And they can also bring in new ideas as to how we can make sure that we speed up the process.
Well, your president doesn't say that. Your president seems to be saying something else. He says, we did not expect from Mantashe, but he is just panicking. His time is up. He's been there for too long, lost touch with reality. The Youth League is here to take over. And that's the position of the Youth League, that the elders have lost touch with reality and their time is up, basically.
Any young person can listen to what the utterances of the chairperson would feel that way. I think the president is reflecting on what young people are feeling currently on the utterances that were made. Because anyone who still believes that young people should just focus on other things other than getting into key positions of government, then indeed that individual needs to self-introspect and be in touch with reality. And the reality is that the majority of voters who are going to vote in the upcoming elections are young people, and they will be expecting an outcome that is going to mirror who and what they are, which is young people of South Africa who are seeking opportunities, who are qualified, who are ready, who want to be part of the process.
How do you strike a balance between the old guard that, yes, admits there has to be a youthful gelling with the old within the party, and not necessarily in support and together with you on a youth takeover?
Well, I think the problem starts there. We have been misquoted, and I think really our comrades need to calm down, because if they calm down, then they will begin to listen to what the ANC has said. The ANC has said we would want 50% of youth representation. And why would we say that? It simply means that we understand that we can't have a total takeover now. We need the other 50% to be those with experience in government so that we can learn from them. The ANC yes, has said we do want some ministry offices, but we also have said that we are ready to be deputy ministers, we are ready to be part of or members of parliament, so that we can learn from those who have experience. But what we are unaccepting of is a situation where it is said that learn from the sidelines. You can't learn when you're not part of the process. You can't bring in your ideas if you are not in the decision-making platforms.
It seems to suggest that you would have split your focus. I mean, you should be coming up with strategies to deal with the EFF student command at campuses.
Well, as the ANC Youth League, we are championing all interests of young people. You can't say the focus should only be this and leave that, because all of these things, remember, complement each other. Everything that SASCO can call for, everything that SRCs and SAWUs can want, they need to be agreed upon in Parliament as well. If you are going to see transformation in NESAS, you're going to see transformation in the NYTA. All of those key parts of that are interests of young people. Then we need to be there to guide and make sure that whatever it is that young people want is actually implemented. So we can't do those things outside of the process. That's why I'm saying we need to be everywhere as young people, and we have enough of those. We have enough young people who are qualified. Some of them can go to parliament, some of them can sit in boards, some of them can even be in councils in universities. They must be there everywhere. They must have representation everywhere, so that when we speak in one voice and we complement each other in all these different spaces that we are operating in.
So are you saying now, where you are sitting without this 50% representation, you are failing in rallying young people around the African National Congress?
We wouldn't say we're failing. I think we're actually making serious progress as the ANC. The reason why you have comfort now is because the voice of the ANC that has been absent for some time is now back. And with it being back, as the ANC, we do not hold back. Wherever we feel that at some point we are now not implementing policies of the ANC, resolutions of the ANC, which we are part of formulating, because remember that the ANC is represented in policy conferences of the ANC, in national conferences of the ANC. So we know exactly what we have agreed upon in the movement. We know exactly what our expectations are as a movement. So when the deployees in government seem to not be moving with speed that we agreed upon in these cities that I've just mentioned, then it is our role and duty as the ANC to agitate that such things are brought to light, and we see some sort of transformation and more upper pace of movement. So we understand that we're in irritation as the ANC, but that's the nature of young people. Ours is to speak and speak boldly, because we need a speed in terms of implementation of things, because it's young people that are suffering on the ground. It's young people that are qualified but are sitting at home, unable to even at least get internships. So we understand those cries of young people. We understand their sufferings. That is why, as the ANC League, we need to continue taking these conversations up. And we know that at some point we are also going to come across such situations where there's some sort of uncomfortability. But that comes with the job of being a youth leader. So
what actions are you going to take now? Because it seems the national chairperson, which would represent, of course, the elders' view on this particular matter to an extent, feels that you are pursuing things that are not within your range. How are you going to convince them that there are no things that are not within your range? Because it seems to be set in their minds that there are such things.
Let me start by saying that actually it's not all elders who think that young people must not enter into these spaces. We have many elders, actually, if we are going to tell them as elders, who are of support of the view that young people need to enter into these spaces. But let me get into what is it that we're going to do. Firstly, we've already made a call as the ANC clique that young people must swallow the reins of the ANC. There must be branch secretaries, branch chairpersons. Just over the weekend, we had a national secretary of the ANC under 35, Comrade Primiso Muguni in Herikwana, being elected as a national secretary. That is something that we are pushing for as the ANC throughout the country, so that we don't only go and request that can you please be included in the process, but actually we'll be part of structures that are actually going to send young people to go into these spaces they want to enter into. So we're very much working background. We're of course also lobbying progressives within the ANC who understand the urgency of including young people. So that is what we're currently doing as the ANC League.
Zama Khanyase, much appreciated. Thank you for coming on, speaking on behalf of the ANC Youth League.